AICCTU Comrade Shankar. Comrade Shankar.
Respected Presidium, comprising the President and General Secretary of AITUC, respected guest from World Federation of Trade Unions, its General Secretary, the representative from ILO, and all other international guests, my close comrades, my colleagues of all the central trade unions, and more importantly, the delegates of the working class of the country, not just this conference of AITUC, but also the delegates and representatives of the working class of the country. I extend my revolutionary greetings, red salutes to you all on behalf of AICCTU. Dear comrades, we have been talking about neoliberal policies. We have been talking about privatization. But the government is talking about what? The government is not talking about neoliberal thing now. They say they are discussing about the post-implementation of labor reforms and the experiences of the implementation of labor reforms. I hope you all remember that in August this year, there was a labor conference without labor. They called it a labor conference. Later they changed the name as well. There was a conference of labor ministers of the country where they analyzed the impact, the experiences of the implementation of labor reforms. They called it an interim report. In that report, they say that in India, after the implementation of labor reforms, the industrial growth has increased, employment rate has increased, and the workers are getting more wages. I don't know where is it happening. I don't think any of the delegates here will know about that kind of a position. Whereas what has happened, as comrades are rightly pointing out, it's not that the employment has increased. Rather, the people are suffering without employment. The people who walked thousands of miles, thousands of kilometers during Corona, they couldn't return back. They were held up in their villages itself. They are looking for employment in their villages itself. It's not available. They thought they will at least get the Manrega. But Manrega also, the budget is slashed. And no Manrega job is available for these workers. When they come back, whether to Mumbai or Chennai or any other place, the same job is not available. Even the people who are getting the same wages, doing the same work, post-Corona, they are not getting the same wage. You can say only half of the wages they are getting it. This I am not saying about it. It's the Ajim Premji University report which says that even those people who came back for work, they couldn't get the same wages they had. In Tirupati, what these labor ministers were doing, the labor ministers are saying that it's only because of reform all these things are happening. What's it? Say for example, I would suggest only few points. First point is that they are saying the formalization is taking place. I don't know where is it taking place. Maybe the formalization of industry is taking place because Modi and the government, they want to have a complete command, complete control over the industry. That is okay. But in order to make it formal, what they are doing is informalization of industrial workforce. That is what is happening. Formalization of industry and informalization of workforce. What is informalization? Informalization is not only about job security. Job security is anyway finished. Job security is finished. And they say that in 2047 you will not have any job security. And if we talk, it's not about just job security, but when we talk about informalization, the working conditions is bad to worse. Wages are the most minimum. When we were demanding minimum wages, even in our resolution, in the draft resolution, it says that we will demand 18,000 rupees or more as the minimum wage. But the government is very particular about it. So what they did, you will demand minimum wages only as long as the minimum wage remains as a mandatory provision. So they introduced the floor wages. Floor wages is what? Floor wages is 4,500 rupees as on date per month. Some remote village in some Jharkhand, they can perhaps lead a life like that. But whether somebody in Alappuzha or somebody in Chennai or somebody in Bangalore or Delhi or Calcutta, can anyone live with 4,500 rupees having a floor wage? It's impossible. And they already have been calling us minimum wage. That is also not a minimum wage. It was only a starvation wages. And why is this happening? This is happening because the government has brought out a booklet which says that this is new codes for new India. I completely differ with it. It's a new codes for a corporate India. A corporate India where the workers will be robbed of all the rights. So that is what the Modi government is planning to do. So we are opposing it. All central trade unions here, we have held several strikes, all India strikes, and still the fixed term employment is going on. When we talk about privatization, we thought railway is one of the vast sector. No employer, no industrialist will be able to buy railway. Nobody has that much of capital. But what the Modi planned was, if the industrialist is not able to buy railway, you cut it. Give tracks, railway tracks to Adani. Give railway coaches to railway trains to Ambani. Give the railway station to Tata. So this is how the Modi has planned, the government has planned. So even the biggest sector, one of the topmost sector in India, which is owned by the government, that is being handed over on a platter to the industrialists today, corporate companies today. So we have been fighting against it. We have been fighting for social security. We have been fighting for health security, health insurance security for the people, workers. We have been fighting for education. We have been fighting for wages. We have been fighting for better working conditions. We have been fighting for the rights. Social security, social security in the previous law, it was a benefit. It was a benefit given by employers or the government. But the government in India today, they say that social security is not some benefit. That is some insurance company. Now you can say that there is Ishram, there is so many other welfare boards. The government is planning to dismantle all welfare boards. There is a single window for the delivery of social security, that is Ishram. Ishram is as on date, there are no benefits. Ishram is only about maintaining some database. But Tirupati Labour Minister Conference has clearly stated that that will emerge as a single window of delivery of social security for the workers. Which means what? Construction Labour Board will be dismantled. BD Labour benefits will be dismantled. And all other unorganized workers welfare board will be dismantled. Then what will happen? The government is acting as an insurance agency. In the name of social security, if you pay more, you get more benefits. If you don't pay out of your pocket, then you don't get it. The government was saying that we are reaching out to the unorganized section of workers. These laws are very good for unorganized sector workers. Very good. If the unorganized sector workers will be beneficial by this code, we definitely will welcome. But what's happening? In the name of extending health security, only the insurance schemes are being delivered to the workers. So you have to pay out of your pocket. A street vendor, an unorganized worker, you have to pay out of your pocket and buy a insurance policy. Should it be done from the government? If you want it, even now we can go to any bank and have some insurance policy. We can get it. There's no problem. But the government is acting as an insurance agency. And you please remember one thing, more than 38 to 40,000 crores of rupees is lying with construction labor board alone. There are so many other labor boards. Once all these boards are dismantled, what will happen to the fund? The government is silent about it. The government is silent about it, and they are not saying what they are not going to do about it. Rather, we can only infer that all these funds are being given to the fund managers, which are nothing but the private, corporate, Indian and foreign companies who will be managing this fund on behalf of workers. So what they are going to do? They throw this money into the speculative market, and in that process we don't know whether we'll really have that money. So it's a big question mark. So social security has become a mockery. And you look at trade union rights. Earlier it was said that we have a right to strike, but the right to strike being snatched away from the working class today. Earlier it was said that there was, if any violation of law, at least there was a provision. No employer was arrested anywhere in the country, all you can say. But at least there was a provision. If any violation, there was a provision up to the extent of filing cases, jailing them and arresting them. But today if you look at it, it has changed. So no employer can be penalized. They can only at best be penalized for some money, nothing more. They can be fined. Whereas the trade union leaders who actually were instrumental in organizing, originating any strike, they will be penalized. Penalized, not only that they will be fined 10,000 rupees to 50,000 rupees, but also that they can be sent to jail. This is what the latest code says. So this is not something which we should lie down and take it. Working class has to rise against it. Working class has been rising against it in various places. We have been seeing the outbursts of struggles happening all over the country. It may not be under the banner of organized trade unions. We are witnessing lots of struggles happening outside the organized trade unions as well. You know what happened in Yeram. You know what happened in Noida. You know what happened in what's happening in various places in the country today. The workers are coming, their anger is coming as outburst. In the process, they burned the factory. They shoot the employer. That was the model which we are seeing in Noida. In Noida, when the workers are on strike, the employer came, the industrialist came. He said he will crush the strike. He went inside, closed the door and started shooting the workers with a gun. Workers retaliated. Ultimately, that employer died. Very unfortunate. You know what was happening in Gurgaon. So everywhere you could see that there are a lot of struggles, which are militant struggles, which even outbursts, which even we may not really justify, but that's what is going to happen. We know that in the period when there were no legislations, when there were no laws to regulate, streamline the industrial relationship, you know what was the struggle? The workers had no legal remedy. The workers had no way they can resolve their issues through even courts. The laws were against them. It is in this kind of a situation. What was the form of struggle then? The only form the workers know in those days was to break the machines. That is what is happening now. So instead of streamlining the relationship, the Indian government, Modi-led government, BJP government is not actually streamlining the industrial relations. Rather, they are destroying it in favor of corporate companies, in favor of corporate industrialists. This is to be opposed. And the working class is not going to take it lying down. It will definitely rise. In what form, in what way, definitely, I am sure, as Comrade Amarjit ji was suggesting that they will be discussing about it. What is the strategy to counter the attacks by the BJP and Modi government today? The working class has to reply to it. Working class has to come up with a very strong reply. The farmers organized. They were there in Delhi border for more than a year. Ultimately, the Modi government has to withdraw the anti-farmer, pro-corporate legislations. I hope you remember the struggle in Bangalore. where the garment workers, young women workers marched on the streets, and there was a very big struggle. Tens and thousands of people were on the streets, and finally the Modi government has to withdraw the circular on the PF issue. This is what happened. Young women workers forced the Indian government to withdraw the anti-labor circular on PF issue. We have seen it. So it's not that the workers are only at the receiving end. They are also fighting back. One more point I would like to share with you. That is about what is the plan of this government. The same Tirupati Labour Minister Conference says they have come up with a Vision 2047. That is 25 years from now and the 100th year of the independence of the country. They say that in future, after 25 years, if you look at the labor relations, what will be the form of employment? No employee-employer relationship. You are seeing some 77 lakhs of platform workers today. It can be the Zomato workers, it could be hunger saviors, it could be Ola, Uber drivers. This is the emerging workforce who doesn't have very clear-cut employer-employee relationship. That's what the government says. There are many other countries where the Uber drivers are considered to be the workers. But Indian government says all these platform workers doesn't have any visible employer-employee relationship. Their working conditions are very bad, and the government wants to develop that kind of a workforce in the coming days. They say that another 10 years, the platform workers who are around 77 lakhs today, they will become 2.5 crores. And if you offer any rights to the employees, if you offer minimum wage to the employees, if you offer protection to employees, if you offer wage security, job security, social security to the workers, the government says that they will not be opting for it. The new generation of workers, according to the government's Vision 2047, they will not look for wage, job and social security. They will only look for some money, which the government says that they will get it through the employment they have, the kind of employment pattern they are proposing. They said this is their Vision 2047. I think this is something to be opposed. Why they are coming up with this proposal of Vision 2047? The Vision 2047 is only about unorganized workers. They have two purposes. One is that, you know very well, that we have been fighting against the government, against the contract system. But what the government is saying, only as long as you have some kind of permanent workers and high-wage islands, we will fighting for reaching that level. So we will get rid of all the permanent employees. We will get rid of this permanent employee system. Then what will happen? All the permanent employees have to compete with contract workers, and contract workers doesn't have anything to demand for. This is what the government is saying. Likewise, the government is saying that if the informalization of workforce takes place tomorrow, that is conducive for the politics of hate. That is conducive for the politics of fascism. So they want to create an unorganized workforce which will be feeding for the politics of hate and communal politics. This is the idea behind this 2047 vision of the government. Are we going to take it lying down? Dear comrades, I would request you, definitely will rise. All central trade unions have given a call for an All India convention on 30th January. And we'll make the convention greatly successful. 2023 will be the year. 2023 will be the year to overthrow Modi regime from the power, from the parliament in 2024. I think it will be the call. It will be the call of the January 30th All India strike. I would like to say one point and conclude it. Farmers were there in Delhi border for 1 year. Workers are not going to sit like that. But workers will go to Delhi one day. Workers will go to Delhi one day. They will not only garrow the parliament, they will seize the parliament, capture the parliament. That will be the struggle of the working class. I appeal to the working class of the country to rise and capture the parliament, capture the political power. The working class is there for rule. That's all. March ahead. Inkulab Jindabad. My revolutionary greetings on behalf of AICCTU.
Thanks. Now I am calling